Hey guys, Level Cap here, and welcome to This Week in Gaming. Sony has made some big waves this week as rumors about an updated version of the PS4 turned into reality. If you're interested in a particular news story, click its title to skip to it. Mobile users see the description for timestamps. On to our first story. Kotaku confirmed this week that Sony is working on an update to the PS4. Featuring an upgraded GPU, the update will provide native 4K support to PS4.5 owners. This doesn't mean, however, that you'll see games running at native 4K, as the upgrade isn't that substantial. What Sony seems to be doing is modernizing the hardware manufacturing of their consoles, as the PS4.5 will feature a GPU with the more modern 16nm or 14nm processor sizes instead of the PS4's 28nm one. This shrinks the components in the PS4, making slimmer models and slightly more horsepower for gaming, and an attractive upgrade for PS4 owners. Is the world really hungering for that 4K technology just yet? Well, Netflix and other streaming services have been offering 4K streaming, so certainly the world is getting ready for it, and Sony has always been on the forefront of 4K media. Sony also announced that they're closing DriveClub's developers Evolution Studios this week. In what seems to be more like a change in direction than a failure to perform, Sony didn't offer any specifics as to why they were shutting the studio down. They recently announced the formation of a new company, Forward Works, who will make iOS and Android games out of Sony's existing IPs in Japanese markets. This is a big deal for Sony because it signals a massive shift in focus away from home entertainment towards mobile gaming. Closing a flagship developer of PS4 exclusives and launch titles is like Microsoft closing the studio behind Forza. While it might not be Halo or Uncharted, DriveClub and Forza are still system sellers, with DriveClub having sold 2 million copies since its release. And at this point, we really can't get through a week without some sort of big announcement from the VR world. Valve this week released Steam Desktop Theater, which enables the Vive and other VR headsets to play Steam games on a virtual desktop. This opens the doors to VR as more than just a VR gaming experience. While all the major headsets are intended to support working as a monitor, this is the first big push by a developer to bring non-VR titles to VR in a standard way. Hopefully it encourages more companies outside of gaming to recognize the potential of VR headsets as a 3D desktop environment. And you might be thinking, why not just play at my desk? Well, what if you're not at your desk? What if you're on the road? What if you're on an airplane? You could sort of virtualize your gaming environment through the headset, which is kind of a cool concept. And on to other developers. Ark's developers just can't catch a break. After releasing a poorly received free-to-play version of their early access title, Studio Wildcard are now facing legal troubles. In simple terms, Trendy Entertainment is claiming that its employees and former creative director Jeremy Stieglitz have played a big enough role in Ark's development that they are owed compensation for its sales. While the allegations are a bit more complicated than that, the bottom line is Trendy has filed motions to prevent the sale of Ark until the court case is resolved. Part of being an early access title is not having figured out all the legalities involved in releasing a game. Hopefully this case will serve as a good benchmark for how issues like this are resolved without hurting customers who pay for early access titles. And speaking of early access titles, the World War I FPS Verdun, which spent a year in the program before its proper release last year, is getting a free expansion. Called Horrors of War, the update features a new map, new co-op survival mode, over 40 new weapons, and totally new gore system that features dismemberment. Considering the update is free, it's pretty impressive, especially for a $25 title. And finally, people scouring the Dark Zone in the Division for endgame items can now plot routes and see the locations of all key areas on a community-made map tool. Featuring the ability to share routes with other players, it will be interesting to see how this tool helps players, as Massive further tweaks the Dark Zone. The most recent patch has enabled players to engage in PvP combat a little bit more freely without such a big punishment. Although PvP isn't quite where I would ideally like to see it, it is definitely a good step in the right direction. Recently, there's also been a lot of buzz with the new Doom title, a whole bunch of new trailers coming out showing off their multiplayer, and it looks very cool. Extremely fast-paced and extremely gory. Interestingly, there's been a pretty big push from the PC gaming community to bring back arena shooters lately, and this has been from Lawbreakers, and then we also have Unreal Tournament Tournament coming back with a free-to-play version, and then Doom. So it's kind of weird to see a big resurgence of arena shooters. Will they come back in force? We'll have to wait and see. There's definitely an old school fan base for them, but can they bring in new players? And in case you missed my videos earlier this week, the new Star Wars Battlefront Outer Rim DLC is out. It brings new heroes, new guns, new star cards, and even if you don't buy the expansion, you'll still get some new items and new upgrades. So definitely worth checking out Battlefront once again. As always, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed my news show, and I'll see you next time. This is Level Cap signing off.